Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Mitch's Minute. I just got home from a long weekend trip,
Oh man.
That's a statement, yeah.
and
Yeah.
so I just got home and rushed to the computer. I know I'm late. It's okay. We've been setting up the shop and setting everything up. So because I know that there wasn't an episode today. What happened is that I fucked up the schedule. And I thought Nate had it covered, and he didn't. And I was supposed to do it, and I fucked up. I've been gone since Friday morning. So I'm back. Tonight is gonna suck because I have so much work I have to get done tonight before I go to work tomorrow. Uh,
Ugh,
but
sounds great, man.
oh yeah, no, it was fun though. I got to see family. And going up to Cleveland is always fun.
hmm
So like, oh, it's tiring. Fucking, I played a shit ton of guitar while I was gone.
Nice.
My voice is tired because I did a shit ton of karaoke while I was gone, and I drank
Awesome.
like a fuck ton of Guinness, and
Yeah, how'd that go?
yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. I learned that I'm the only one in the family who drinks Guinness, and like my sister drinks like harder shit, um, like just like shots of rum and tequila.
Yeah,
Um,
that's more my speed.
my mom is the same way, and like I mean I could do either or, but besides that, everything's fine. Nothing's crazy. I'm just very
This
tired.
man needs a nap, y'all. This
I'm
man needs a nap.
This will be the So
Yeah.
this episode, I'm sure, as some of you have seen the thumbnail of, we're talking about some interesting conversation topics. For those of you who don't know who that guy is on the cover, that's Tom Ellis. He plays Lucifer in the show Lucifer, and we're going to talk a little bit
Yep.
about something that happened specifically while I was not binging, but watching the show. And we'll get into that a little later. Before I go any further, though, while I was gone, I saw the movie Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I've seen some trailers and gifs from that. It looks interesting.
Okay,
Looks
so
kinda fun,
so
but I
here's the
don't.
deal.
Oh right, no, I was thinking of something else. Yeah, this isn't this like a Fast and Furious spin-off thing?
Yes. Okay, so it's a Fast and Furious spin-off movie. For those of at home who don't watch the Fast and Furious movies, I will say this stands on its own.
hmm
It's very, very good if you're just in the mood to watch an action movie that has watching this movie there's moments in this movie that remind me of Revengeance, which is a weird
Okay.
pool. It's a weird pool.
That's a movie I've never seen.
No, not it's not a movie. It's a game.
Oh.
Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
Oh, okay.
So
It gave you Metal Gear vibes?
okay, so hear me out. So
Okay.
so the
I'm
premise
curious now, pray tell.
the premise of the movie, without giving it away, is Jason Statham's sister gets her hands on a bio-virus that will destroy like the Meek and fucking Dwayne the Rock Johnson and Jason Statham have to team up. These guys have been enemies and reluctant partners in the Fast and the Furious franchise, and now they have to partner up and save the world, as the Rock puts it, for the fourth time, because he has to.
Okay.
Mhm.
And they have to face against the third. Dwayne the Rock Johnson and Jason Statham are fucking cool as shit. And then they're
Yeah.
fighting it off against the only person in my mind who could equate to their levels of cool, Idris Elba.
And that is.
Idris
Oh
Elba.
yeah.
Idris
Well,
Elba,
fuck. Okay.
and it's not just Idris Elba. It's cyborg Idris Elba,
Okay.
where he has like cyber augmented, like he's like super strong. In the trailers, he's like, I'm Black Superman. And fucking like he has the Transformer esque like motorcycle where he pushes a button on his wrist and the motorcycle comes to him, and then he like does sick grinds and like is able the motorcycle will like shift positions to fit into like small like crevices and shit. It's so good.
This sounds absurd, but delightful.
So Jason Statham, the whole gimmick is Dwayne the Rock Johnson's the muscle, and Jason Statham is the finesse. You know, he's the one who like drives around and stuff. I mean, they both drive. It's fucking Fast and Furious. But like, you know, like Jason Statham's like Italian sports cars speed. Dwayne the Rock Johnson drives big trucks and, you know, all that shit. And you know, like it's just like it's a dumb action movie. It's really fun. I cannot emphasize enough how fucking stupid and fun this movie is. It's so good. It
sounds delightful.
It's honestly, if you just want to go to a movie theater and shut your fucking brain off for like a few minutes, just watch this movie.
Jesus Christ.
I will say it is kind of long. It's like 2.5 hours.
But is it 2.5 hours of fun?
Yes, so that's the thing. The thing I didn't know about the Fast and Furious franchise is the fact that apparently there is an apocalyptic fucking organization that only exists.
I did not know that either.
I think all of the movies, and I don't remember that existing either. So I think they might have just introduced that here.
So they kind of did this thing where it's like, it's this group called Edion or something like that. But the idea is like they're terror, like super, like almost Cobra-esque terrorists, where the gimmick is like human race is gonna destroy themselves, but we're gonna cyber augment you, Idris Elba, to fucking take on Hobbs and Shaw and get back the virus. Idris Elba is just chewing the scenery. He is so much fun in this movie. Watching them fight against each other is so silly and dumb, and I love it.
Sounds good. You've sold me on this.
It is like, okay, let me put it this way. Imagine you're watching a movie, and in that movie there is a joke trailer for an action movie. Dwayne the Rock Johnson, Jason Statham fight off against Cyborg Idris Elba.
Yeah, except it's real and it's a full-length movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
You can watch
that according to the fucking trailers. Halfway through has a haka. Fucking what the fuck?
So in the trailer, because you're right, it's in the trailer. At one point in the movie, they go to Samoa, where for plot reasons.
Okay, so no, the clips I've seen are from this then.
Yes. And Dwayne the Rock Johnson's like, the only way we can fight off against all their technology is with all this tribal weaponry. And like it is so silly. And to the point where a character in the movie addresses how silly this is.
Sure.
And they're like,
somebody's got to be the same character.
We could turn off their automatic weapons and machinery for like a moment, right? And they're like, yeah. And then in that moment, we'll beat the shit out of these fucking cyber soldiers with our spears and shit. It's okay. So I mind you. I went to see this movie with my family, and my mom and my sister Jessica were flipping their shit at how ridiculous the Samoa parts were.
Okay.
And fun fact, Jason Momoa was asked to be part of that movie, but he was busy filming Aquaman, which will come in later in the podcast. Because it's one of those things where it's so ridiculous. And obviously, if you haven't seen a Fast and Furious movie, it is so fucking ridiculous. I normally don't watch these movies. These are more for my dad. If you've never seen
this series before, you are not going to be prepared for the tone of this movie.
Oh yeah, these are more like a thing from my dad than anything. I don't watch the Fast and Furious franchise. It's not really my cup of tea. But like they just fucking, it's a ball.
I don't actively follow it, but when it's on, I'll watch it because it's consistently just delightful nonsense.
It's crazy, and I mean, it's just fun, and like it's one of those things where, like, without going any further, I will say this: just if you have any inkling to go, just enjoy yourself for a moment, go catch this movie. It's really fun. It sucks because I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy ruined these types of movies for me because there's so many sequences in which I'm like, yeah, just play a silly pop song. Play something. Just play something fun. Like, there's a scene where it's supposed to be comedic and they have like the like it's like action music, but I'm like, just put a fucking pop song in. Just who cares? Just James Gunn it. And like there's so many moments in the movie where I'm like, I just wish they would play something like, like maybe when and that's the problem. Like Guardians of the Galaxy fucking ruined it for me because now my mind is like, well, yeah, that makes sense. Play the fun pop song when the action sequence happens, and you'll enjoy it because it's essentially an AMV as you go. Because like Idris Elba comes in the scene. They're in London, right? So why don't you play Rolling Stones? Why don't you play something fucking fun? Like
something Bond-esque.
Yeah, play fucking fuck.
That's how you know he's tired. He can't think of a song.
Yeah, that's a pretty good personal desire.
Paint It Black. You could take that sequence, that action sequence, play Paint It Black, have it so that like this, and like it intensifies, and then fucking Jason Statham takes his car, slides it underneath the two trucks. And then was like his, because that's fucking ridiculous. Slides it under the two trucks, drives off, and then Idris Elba just stop the song. Idris Elba, because that's when classic move. That's when that's when the chase would stop. But then have it so the song stops, and then have Idris Elba like Transformer slide his way under the fucking trucks, starts back up again. Fucking, you're welcome, movie companies.
Sounds like a good sequence.
Just that's how you do it. That's how you set it up. Because then it's like, that's fucking hype. That's how you do that. Stop the music or tone it down all the way and then bring it back for when it happens. Make it, because then it's, you can easily manipulate like that, the sense of like, we have expectations of how scenes should go. And then you just manipulate that so that it can, the scene flows. And what better way than to do it with a pop song, right? I know that sounds shitty because Mitchell, not everything has to be a pop song, but like if there is a movie franchise that would be successful with this,
this is one where it would totally fit.
Exactly.
It would not be dissonant to have jaunty pop music playing in this series, or like funky hip hop music going on in the background or something.
I mean, you're right.
This is not a series where that would be out of place.
Exactly. Play and have fun with it. Make it cheesy as shit. Make it like because
this is not a series that will die from the cheese.
Exactly. And so that being said, though, I don't want to get too into it. Obviously, we've already been talking about it for a little bit. Go see the movie. Tell us what you think about it. It's very cheesy. I'm not gonna say it here. It's the magnum opus of action movies, but it is surprisingly delightful. I enjoyed this movie a lot. I do not own a lot of movies on Blu-ray, but this is definitely one I'm going to grab for myself. That being said, let's talk about the next subject and the title of this episode. What happened? So Lucifer season 3. Okay, so this is a weird one. This is a very weird one to talk about because both of you guys, I'm assuming, do not watch Lucifer.
I've seen at least the first season and a bit of the second, so I'll have some context for the things that you're talking about.
Okay, it's less about, so this subject isn't talking very specifically about Lucifer, it's inspired from what happened with Lucifer.
Oh, okay.
So don't worry, Amanda, I'm not going to drag you through a show you've never watched before.
Yeah, I was like, I'll sit here quietly then, I guess.
No, that's what I'm going to do when you guys start talking about Critical Role. So, everyone has a moment. Every day after work, I come home, I cook dinner, and me and Tabby will enjoy dinner while we watch an episode of Lucifer. It's been a fun little tradition we've been doing, and that way we're not binging an entire show. We much like the food we're eating, we let every episode digest. I prefer watching shows that way. That way, you let it sit for a day, come back the next day, watch an episode.
But it's still fresh enough in your mind that you know what happened last episode.
Exactly. So we made it through the first 2 seasons of the show, and as I've mentioned on this show specifically, I have been very much enjoying Lucifer. I have been enjoying this show tremendously. It has been the surprise hit in my mind of like between like there's so many good shows I've watched this year, like Vikings and this and like, just a whole borgish of shows I haven't had a chance. That's right. Just fucking ignore me. So, it's been a good year. It's been a good year for TV shows. I've been enjoying it. Season 3, something weird happens. Through the first 2 seasons of the show, there is a constant arc between Lucifer, who is in fact the devil, and our main character, Chloe Decker. And they have been a will they, won't they kind of vibe for 2 seasons. And by the end of season 2...
Oh, is this a case of they get together and then the writers don't know what to do?
So what happens, without going too into it, obviously, they have developed. Their characters have arced. Everything is going so good. Because it feels like, we've been hanging out with these characters for 2 seasons now. They've been through a lot of shit. And now it's like, it's getting to the point where it's either, Lucifer, you gotta be honest with me. Well, not honest. Honest is not the right word. Lucifer, you have to convince me of what you're saying. Because, and I'm quoting the character here, going backwards is never a good thing.
Okay.
So...
That's fair enough. And he has been sort of like going, oh yeah, I'm totally the devil, it's cool, believe me, for a while at that point. So, like, dude, if you're the devil, give me a little evidence here.
So, like, because she thinks she doesn't believe him. But, like, that's the thing. He's telling the truth. The audience knows he's telling the truth. Yada, yada, yada. The point is, season 2 ends on a cliffhanger. I'm not going to say what the cliffhanger is. Season 3 starts up, and the first episode, it's like, okay, they're gonna slowly address this. No, they didn't.
They just ignore the cliffhanger?
They bring it up, and it shits the bed. And episode 2 happens. And I'm like, okay, well, how are they doing this? And episode 3 happens. Episode 4 happens. Episode 5 happens. And I've been sitting there.
And they don't address the cliffhanger.
No, instead they introduce a new character for Chloe to date. And
why?
So here's the thing. I don't want to sit here and bitch about Lucifer because, 1, that's not fair to Amanda. But 2, it's because of I wanted to bring up a very specific topic because I had to look this up. I'm like, okay, what the fuck happened? The writing in this show is something that I really, really like.
It seemed pretty solid from the parts I've watched of it.
I would never watch a show like this unless the writing was fucking phenomenal. And the thing that I really liked about the show was the writing was really well done. Tom Ellis sells it as Lucifer. He is fucking amazing.
He's a wonderful actor in the role. They got a pretty good cast for this series.
Oh yeah, all the characters, Amenadiel, fucking Chloe Decker, fucking Dan, like all the characters. Every single one.
Chloe's daughter is a delight. And cute little ray of sunshine.
The casting director is fucking solid. What I want to talk about is why it happened. So season 3 premieres. Apparently what had happened was Fox got their hands on this and said, hey, Christians are not happy.
Because, for fuck's sake!
Because they're saying
the whole Million Moms thing. We're still campaigning against it. Oh.
So here's the deal. What had happened was they were like, hey, tone down the mysticism here. Tone down the thing that makes your goddamn show interesting.
The whole premise is that the main character is literally the devil.
Tone that down.
Tone down the.
So there's been
protagonist is Satan. You don't get to tone what?
So apparently what Tom Ellis wanted was he was like, well, I want Chloe and Lucifer in season 3 to get together and have a darker season and express, hey, this is a fucked up relationship, but we're gonna get through it together and have a very character-driven
have them both grow season. And figure out how to have a balanced relationship after all.
Nah, that's dumb though. Fucking nah.
So
nah.
The last season, the last episode I watched, Lucifer, for some godforsaken reason, all these characters. There's a reason I quoted it. Lucifer, going backwards is never good. It hurts everyone.
And then they did that! Go, like, 20 steps backwards. They did that the new season comes.
With their fucking writing. Lucifer's back to season 1 Lucifer. Chloe, for some godforsaken reason, hates him now. And everything feels backwards. And when I read that, when I read that Lucifer, essentially what happened was that fucking Fox told them, hey, back down from these things, change the characters up. Lucifer, is too likable. The devil is too likable as a character.
I mean, he's the protagonist.
He has to be likable.
He has to be at least vaguely tolerable.
So the reason we're going into this, and the reason why, because I'm mad about this, but I want to know, because I think this is an interesting topic. Has a show ever shit the bed for any of you? Because of censorship, because something had to change, because a company got their greedy hands on it. I'm looking at you, Star Wars.
Yeah, there's several fucking shows and series that have done that, though. But my bitch is that these fucking Christian women have watched the first 2 seasons and fucking sat there and went, you know what? I'd fuck Satan.
And decided that that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Well, they do a really good job in the show, like, making him, like, they do a really good job at interpreting the character. They're using a base from, like, a comic book, and they kind of are just embellishing on that character, and they took those ideas and aspects, and they really worked with it, and it's great. But, like, when I think of, like, companies like this, and I think of this censorship, and I think of, like, just how it ruins something. Like,
yeah, completely unnecessarily. I mean, if you wanted to, like, hammer home the part where he's Satan, you didn't need to screw over the premise or, like, the relationships. You could have just, I don't know, what are some of the things that he did before he left hell that were maybe a little bit more sketchy? I don't know, stuff like that, or go into more, like, what is, like, maybe just, like, develop more on that side if you don't want him to be too nice or whatever your problem is. But
yeah. Maybe he could just be tempted by shit he used to do all the time. Like,
yeah, like, maybe there was stuff he enjoyed back down in hell or something like that, or that he liked to do, and that could be a conflict for the setting or something. You don't need to completely screw up your character dynamics, which is what most people watch shows like this for.
So, beyond Lucifer, when I think of these types of changes, when I think of this kind of stuff, or maybe it doesn't affect the writing directly, but rather the release, and I think specifically of Avatar: the Last Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I think of Korra. And I think of how that
a lot of issues that the writers had to deal with from the studio.
Nickelodeon was a dick.
To get stuff.
No matter how you feel about the last 2 seasons, because they couldn't even release the last half of the 3rd season because they showed,
and plus, there was, like, I think the writers were under the impression that they were going to have another season, and then were informed kind of abruptly, actually, no, you aren't.
Yeah, you get nothing.
Like just shit like that. Like, the whole reason why that happened was because Zahir, the villain of season 3, suffocates the Earth Queen live on camera. He creates a ball around her head and drains the air.
And you know what? That's a pretty good way to make an airbender, a group we've previously seen to be fairly, pacifistic and peaceful people, making one seem pretty freaking terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good moment for the writers.
But,
the writers, I mean.
Well, I mean, they made waterbenders hella fucking intimidating with bloodbending. They might as well just
hell yeah, they did. I mean, if you're going to have an airbender villain, and you've previously shown him to be like, oh yeah, like, let's be peaceful monk people, give him a terrifying aspect.
Oh yeah.
But
there you go.
Nickelodeon says, no, don't show that. Kids can't handle that.
I mean, if they could handle people being puppeted by their blood, I think they can handle that.
Yeah. Honestly.
It's not great.
No, it's not.
So I mean, I don't know. I feel like when these big company changes happen, when a show is written not by or not, it's not that it's not written by the creator, but it feels like it's written by the committee, where the board of directors or some, the big wigs get a say and they get to dip their hand because they need to. They want certain things to happen, or they want certain things not to happen, and I think that this is a very classic argument of
why you do need to trust your writers sometimes. I mean, sometimes, like, you brought up Star Wars before, the original Star Wars trilogy. Lucas needed some constraints to make that a success. The uncut, like, before his wife got into the editing room and fixed stuff for him, and there is such a thing as putting too much free reign on an author for a series or for a TV show or for a movie or whatever. But generally, didn't you hire those people for a reason? Do you not trust them to do the job, the sole job that you hired them to do?
So this is a weird conversation because it went from talking about getting the studio's hands. This is a very classic argument in terms of what is more important, because essentially a TV show is a commissioned piece of art. Yeah?
Yes.
Right.
So the studio says, hey, I want the show. They pitch you the idea, and they're like, oh, that could work. I'm going to put this on my broadcasting station, or my broadcasting fucking, I'm going to put this on my on my channel. I'm stalling for time. Because I'm trying to bring up a very specific example.
Okay.
And trying to get an image for it?
No, it's just making sure I get the information right. This is a very classic commissioner versus the artist argument. So when I was in college, there was this moment where we were asked in an art class, what's more important? The needs of the person who's paying for the art, or the artist's integrity to express themselves. So you're paying the artist to create the piece of art, but you asked very specifically for that person to make the art, meaning that they do things and have their own tendencies in the let me put it this way: would you hire Stephen King to make a children's book?
I mean, I think he has.
Oh, well then. Okay, that fell apart.
I'm not sure, but I think he has.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I mean,
but
I
guess the cynical answer is, does the artist want to eat?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, then he has to fulfill his role.
But on the other hand, if you're not putting that in it, it depends on what the thing. Because in cases of the TV shows, yes, the studio that hired the writers and all that, they are technically the client, but they're more of a middleman client for the final group, which is the audience. And yes, there is a section of the audience that is like, ooh, Satan, what is this? But they're not the target audience of this. Well, it's the other people who are, and there's the people who enjoy the show and completely just shitting the bed on your entire production because one handful of people who aren't even your target audience, that aren't actually fans of the show, are going, oh, but Satan?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if the issue is because honestly, what I'm thinking it is, none of these fucking women would watch this. I'm thinking what it more than likely is that their kids are watching it.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got daughters and shit that are super into Satan, and they're not cool with it.
Oh, yeah. The kind of people who are like, oh, you can't have Satan as a nice person in your TV show. They're not watching this show. They're not. Maybe they watched 2 episodes and they were like, oh, Satan, what is this?
I will. There is a happy ending to the story.
Mm-hmm.
The good news is that the show got canceled by Fox.
So Fox can't ruin it.
Guess what happened?
They
they canceled Lucifer because they're like, wow, people aren't watching. I wonder why.
Oh yeah, could it be because you completely destroyed the thing that all of your viewers like?
Okay, The good news, the happy ending part, was picked up by Netflix, and earlier this year, season 4, a season in which was more in line with the original first 2 seasons, came out, and they are now, and I think they're going to make the 5th and final season of Lucifer conclude the storyline.
Good.
And that's the good news. The good news is that the story has a happy ending. A story that doesn't have a happy ending, and this is kind of going back to, because I had to get all the fucking Wikipedia pages and resources up to make sure I'm not misquoting anything. I'm not sure how many of you guys know about this specific piece of art, but it's the piece of art that inspired the conversation and sparked the conversation within the classroom I was in that day. So there was a piece of art called "Man at the Crossroads." It was a big piece of art that was supposed to go in front of the Rockefeller Center, and it was created by Diego Rivera back in 1934. So they hired Diego because
it looks pretty cool.
He was so talented that they wanted him to make it, and it was supposed to be a monument to the accomplishment of man.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I just googled it. It's pretty good piece.
So he finishes the piece. Everything's done. People love this piece. People think, but sometime after, I believe it was sometime after the release, or sometime before the release, I cannot remember. The idea was that they looked and said, it's kind of weird that Lenin is in this picture, huh? And Diego says, well, you asked me to make a picture of the great accomplishments and developments of humanity, and Lenin is an influence of mine. So...
I see where this is going.
So, because, they didn't want Lenin to be on the big mural in front of an American building, they destroyed the work after its completion.
Aww.
Diego said, don't destroy the work. They said, we bought it. It's ours. We'll do what we want with it.
Okay, technically yes, but, you could have just, given it back to him. You didn't have to burn it.
So... We got some details here and there that might have been wrong, but the point is not wrong, but out of order or whatever. But the point is that is what kind of sparked in that classroom at that day. That was the conversation that kind of brought it up. It was like, okay, this piece of art is a piece of art. The person who commissioned it.
Yeah.
It is then theirs to do as they want.
Yeah.
Your television show, Legend of Korra, Lucifer, Star Wars, fucking all these things, pieces of art that are commissioned. Once the commission is done, that belongs to the company. And they can do whatever they want with it.
Technically, yes.
So, as kind of I guess the conversation I'm trying to get at is, where do we all stand on that?
I will say that yes, they are within their right to do that. I would say that for things that are of this scale, where the final receiver of the art, even if they're not the ones paying for it, is the public, then perhaps you should also consult the public on this. Because it's one thing if you hire an artist to make something for you and you hang it in your bedroom. Because, that's going in your bedroom. Sure, whatever. But for grand pieces of public art, like this and like the TV shows and movies and all that, even if you're the one paying for it, technically, you aren't the sole commissioner. Technically, at the end of the day, the public that you're making it for is sort of a co-commissioner.
I mean,
technically, yes, they have the right, but it's kind of weird.
I would disagree. I want to say it's fucking like less like the viewers are commissioners and more like they're. I take it more as like they're appreciators of the art because what they're doing is getting a commission and then showing it to people.
Gotcha. Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
What does it matter if like the people like it if at the end of the day the person who commissioned them didn't? If that's the case, then as the commissioner, it's like literally part of like selling your art. When I hand over a commission that I finish, if they want to burn it in front of me, that is their choice and they have every right to.
Yeah.
It's fucked. You can be a big asshole, but it is also your right to burn my work
I'm not saying it's not their right. I'm just saying that they should probably take a second to think about their actions before they commit them.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
I'm not saying they're not allowed to do these things or that they have to hold some grand consensus on it or something. I'm just saying, think past your own butt for 2 seconds before you do something.
Yeah. Well, okay, so it's like Lewd Mercy said, technically yes, but morally no. Technically yes, you are allowed to burn my work in front of me because at the end of the day, what I have done is a transaction and you paid me.
Yes, like it's your property, you can do what you like.
Yeah.
But why?
Like the second it leaves my hands, it doesn't matter how long or what I've gone through, I still got paid at the end of the day, and if they want to fucking destroy my baby in front of me, that is unfortunately their right.
Okay, so I'm gonna use a very absurd example.
Yeah.
Because those are my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say
absurd examples can definitely be interesting.
Let's say you work at a fast food place, yeah? And you specialize in pot pies. I don't fucking know. And there's someone who orders 68 pot pies. You make those pot pies. You know how to make those pot pies. You wake up 7 o'clock in the morning. Go to work maybe an hour early to get a head start on those pot pies. You get the pot pies done. They're all boxed up neatly with a napkin underneath and a fork and a knife, plastic fork and a knife, and you stack them up, put them in a big container, and then you drive. You drive for like maybe 45 minutes. You get down the road and you deliver those pot pies. You completed the order, and then some douchebag white boy, a backwards cap, says, "Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna take these pot pies and throw them against a cement wall." And you're sitting there and you're like, well, fuck! I just spent like fucking hours making these fucking pot pies! And some dude is just gonna sit there and be like, wow!
This sounds like a personal.
This sounds like it should be specific enough to be a personal example, but also I've never heard you reference pot pies ever before.
So this guy takes 68 pot pies, and his friend has a big camcorder and just fucking starts throwing them at people. These scalding hot pot pies. These pot pies that you fucking put your heart into. You woke up early to get these pot pies done.
It's his right, but he could have informed you of what his intents for them were at the start to save you the effort on making them actually tasty instead of just being vaguely pot pie shaped pastry things.
So that's the thing, Mitch, is that I know exactly what the fuck you're talking about. I know exactly what the not in the context of pot pies, no.
Okay.
But someone takes all the work.
Yeah, you're right. I think you might.
I was trying to create an example for people at home who might not do art.
Yeah. Well, now the chat is saying probably the wrong stream to come to late in.
Yeah.
You take 68
context for this stage of the conversation.
The point one that
talking about giant sounds of pot pies while Lucifer's standing on the screen.
So, that's the fucked up thing, Mitch. That's the fucked up thing is that at the end of the day, he still gets to fucking do it.
Right,
He
because
does. I mean,
he
I would
commissioned.
say that he probably should have been like, because that's the thing. Like, if the person's not happy with it at the end, or it for a specific thing, they're not legally obligated, but I feel like they should be, by common sense, obligated to inform the creator the intent of their creation.
So essentially, what it boils down to is at the end of the day, there is a moral. I think it's absolutely what Luden Mercy said. I think there's a moral stance to it, and I'm gonna say, I don't fucking know what to say. I'm tired of shit. The point is that there is the moral sense of what it is, and technically what it is. So absolutely correct. Morally, my heart will be broken if I made 68 pot pies and I watched some douchey, shitty teen kid throw the pot pies that I made, that I woke up early for.
Oh, no doubt.
It sucked.
Oh yeah, like I'm not saying you're
heartbreaking
wrong to have that reaction. I would not be very happy if somebody did that to any of my creations either.
And
yeah, it's heartbreaking, and it's not fair or cool at all, and morally, it's bullshit, and you're a giant fucking asshole. But at the end of the day, I gave it to you.
So, I mean, and that's the thing. You got paid. You got paid for your efforts. You got paid for your time. You took the commission going forward. Maybe it doesn't end up the way that you're expecting it to, but you did the work. And I think that's it's kind of so it kind of disconnected to what we were talking about in terms of censorship and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it is kind of that sense where it's like Fox had specifically this idea that the show was too controversial, and they tried to tame a show that's premise almost could not be tamed by its nature.
No, your protagonist is Satan.
And
also, Lewd Mercy, that's the kind of nihilistic shit I'm here for.
At the end of the day, nothing matters, just do whatever. No, so
yes, that's my fucking
I mean, if nothing matters, then everything matters equally.
Tom Ellis's fucking devil-like stare is affecting the audience.
It's scarring them. That is the face of a man who just watched you throw 68 pot pies into a
This is a man who's he's putting aside the days in hell where you're specific punishments.
Tom Ellis woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, got to the store, was baking those pot pies from a very early point, just to watch you throw them up against the wall.
That is the face of a man who knows exactly fucking what he's gonna do to you in hell.
Makes me really want to find out what scene this shot is from, just to find out what the actual context is for it.
Oh no, it's better without context. Yeah. I prefer this.
I know it is, but I want to know.
Oh my god. Anyways, the point is that at the end of the day, shows are owned by companies, and those companies can do and say whatever they want, and we just have to live with the consequences. And that, admittedly, is really shitty.
Of their show failing because they were idiots.
But
that's the thing. You buy 68 pot pies, and then you throw them into the cement, and then a fucking hour later, you're like, man, I threw so many fucking pot pies, now I'm hungry.
Yeah.
But you don't get to eat them because you threw them, and that is your consequence.
And they're on the ground, and they're covered in ants.
Mind you, this is the same company. This is the same company that canceled Son of Zorn. And like a bunch of shows that I personally think are real solid. That if just given more, like they essentially planted the seeds for a lot of season 1 shows. Allowed the water them and say, I didn't get any tomatoes, and then just fucking knocked them off the shelf. And just
I didn't get any tomatoes the next day.
Maybe you didn't plant a tomato plant.
So I'm not fucking surprised. The thing that I like about this argument, though, is essentially what happened was the show was canceled. They took it off the shelf. Netflix said, "Fuck, I'll take it." They bought it.
Yeah, because they were like, oh, I see what the thing people liked about this was.
Before you throw away those 68 pot pies, let me buy them off you and serve them.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, so that's the thing, though. Maybe you planted a pot pie. That's the thing, though, is that your fucking analogy isn't even correct. They planted the seeds, started seeing little sprouts, and then lit it on fire and went, "Why aren't you growing? Why aren't you growing?"
Yes,
I don't get it.
Instead of watering it, they just dumped acid on it.
And just, no, they filled it full of fucking Coke. And then went, "I don't get it. I don't understand."
It's
Satan loves pot pies.
It's the fucking movie Idiocracy when none of the plants will grow anymore. It's because they throw Gatorade all over the fucking plants because it has electrolytes.
It's full of electrolytes, and that's exactly what fucking happened. Why
I renamed
like our Satan show when I fill it full of Jesus? I don't fucking know.
I want everyone at home to know I renamed this episode 68 Pot Pies.
No, I see.
I noticed you did.
It's great.
You left the question mark. Keep it there. Good.
Okay. But that's the thing.
For context, I don't know if we announced the title at the start. Originally it was What Happened. But now it is Pot Pies.
Yeah, 68 Pot Pies. Like, okay, but so that's the thing. So these big companies essentially commission these movies and all this stuff, and at the end of the day, we can only be thankful that, because this is not just an example of one thing that happened. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, a show that was beloved by millions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Got canceled just arbitrarily by Fox. They were just like, well, it's not doing what we want. And they canceled it.
It's not catering to our worldview that only straight white guys exist and want.
Why won't my corn stalks grow me pot pies? I don't get it.
And so Fox...
I mean, I have a field full of fucking corn and no pot pies. I don't fucking get it.
Fox is the
What am I going to do with all this corn?
Fox is the absolute fucking worst when it comes to this. So they took a show. They took their most popular fucking show, canceled it, and then NBC bought it and made one of the highest rated seasons of that show.
What a surprise!
So the good news, people, the good news is at the end of the day, there is always a chance. There's always a chance. It's a slim chance. But there is chances for the shows to be picked up in some way, shape, or form. The art to be redeemed. I heard, and I haven't watched it yet, but I heard that Lucifer Season 4 is exactly what Tom Ellis wanted. Good. And when I hear that, it makes me feel really, really good. Because it means that essentially Netflix saw the problem, and they're not fucking listening to the goddamn evangelicals or whatever.
They're not listening to 1,000 moms, or no, there's an actual organization called 1 Million Moms.
Oh,
and I remember them making a joke about them in, I think, early season 2 about how they tried to get the show canceled.
So, like,
this is an actual org, and they actually tried. And they might be part of why Fox shat the bed.
Fox is just garbage here when it comes to this. But there is a good news. And there's another thing. There was a show I liked that came out last year, and it had a season that ended just a couple months ago called AP Bio. I really liked that show. Had Patton Oswalt in it. I cannot remember. Dennis from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, whose name escapes me right now. But, like, very, very well done show. It was so weird. I don't know how to explain it. It was so unique. But the show didn't do particularly well. And so what ended up happening is they ran a campaign after the show got canceled, and they said save AP Bio, and it's going to continue through that particular network's ongoing stream.
I'm sorry. I just love Lude Mercy's reference of, what was your favorite episode of Mitch's Minute? I like the one where they talked about Popeyes for a long time. I mean, you're right.
I don't know. I think we've been doing all right.
Yeah, no.
So was definitely a wild topic swing for a hot second there.
But that's the thing. We live in a really good time for shows like Lucifer, like AP Bio, like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, shows that get canceled for not for no explicable reason, but no explicable reason.
We know the reason, but the reasons are stupid.
The reason is stupid, or the reason was preventable in Lucifer's case.
Yeah, the reason was like the meme of the guy's biking along and he sticks a pipe in his own bicycle tire and blames something else.
Right, it's like what was it? The Last Man on Earth or something like that. Like that was an incredibly popular show that Fox was running, and they fucking canceled that shit. There's and that's the thing. They just cancel these things. They just cancel them for no fucking. I can't.
I love off topic, but do you guys remember the petition when Good Omens came out, where all the evangelical petitioning Netflix to cancel Good Omens, despite it being a 1-season miniseries on Amazon?
Oh god. I just. So you leave Terry Pratchett alone. You leave him alone.
So that being
said, 2,000 moms.
that's the new Hydra of our generation.
You know what? Maybe if they did get fucked, they wouldn't be all over fucking shows like this.
Ooh, I mean, maybe you would be watching Lucifer.
Somebody has fucked him at least once.
So anyway,
no.
So guys,
I don't even think so. I think a lot of it is fucking Virgin Mary babies.
Oh my god. All right, guys. All right. So, anyways, the point is that So that's kind of the controversy. That's kind of what we're going. And like I said, the only reason I really even brought this up is because I was just so questioning why this season just felt like horse shit, and why it was why is it like this, and it's infuriating. I'm gonna get through it, but it's so.
And then you'll get to enjoy people who actually know what they're doing.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Actually allowed to both know what they're doing and execute it.
That being said, before we move on from Lucifer, because once again I know that whatever. I do want to say this thing. Episode 1 of season 3, they were like, "Oh, there's a new bad guy called the Sinner Man," and I'm like, "That is dumb as shit. That is the dumbest name.
That is not as dumb as the Bye Bye Man.
Oh no, that's
up there in the scale.
The Sinner Man sounds like a
man.
The Sinner Man sounds like a goddamn fucking.
That sounds like a 30s comic book villain.
So
not a good one.
So in the same episode, mind you, they introduce a new character. Like, "Hi, my name is Lieutenant Pierce, and I'm a stereotypic 40-year-old white guy, but everyone thinks I'm hunky." I'm like, fucking really? Why? He looks like a schlubster.
I've only heard 2 seconds of him, and I hope he dies when it starts season 4.
I'm sitting there eating my goddamn dinner with Tabby, and I'm like, "He's the Sinner Man." And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm calling.
He's the Sinner Man.
I'm calling it right now. Episode 1. That guy's the Sinner Man."
Right.
I will let you know. I will let you know when I finish the season in a couple weeks.
God,
please do, because you're making me want to start up this show again. Because I just remembered how much I love Maze and
Amenadiel's so good. He's so funny.
Yeah,
I love that guy.
No, you know what? I can't think.
They were giving him the most soul-crushing arc the last time I watched that.
That's when I tapped out. Mm-hmm.
Ew! No! I was curious to watch that show before. Never mind.
Well, okay, so that's the thing, is that for several seasons, they just have a normal brother-sister relationship, and then they pulled the weirdest shit with his sister, in which they're just like, "Oh, well, you love your brother." And because she's having a talk with her therapist, and they're like, "You love your brother." And she's like, "No, I don't." And they're like, "Yeah, you do."
Why?
Okay, just putting this out there, they're not blood related.
I don't give a shit.
I know, but it alleviates some of the issues.
Weebs care.
Precisely 0 issues. I mean, it alleviates the issues of them having genetic conditions in any potential offspring. But from, like, a psychology standpoint, that eliminates zero issues.
But, like, it went off the rails really hard, and I don't know what happened. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I see you, chat. I see you.
Chat, please no.
Yeah, I see you.
Show us some mercy and no, please.
It's that classic anime fucking harem trope. We're not actually related.
I wish would die.
Well, Kirito, we're not actually.
Oh God, no! Why did your brain go to the exact same thing I was thinking?
Oh, Sword Art Online, you beautiful bastard. But no, they pulled that, and I just went, what is happening? Why is this happening? Because I sat through several seasons, and I was like, I really like this show. This is a really cool show. I'm really digging this. And it seems like
kind of neat. At least
it was super neat.
I saw like the first couple episodes and I was like, oh,
you know what?
This is kind of neat. I like these characters a bit.
You know, now I get why Lucifer's looking at that, because he heard exactly what you just said, and he's like, oh my god, oh my god.
Oh my god. And they were siblings. Oh my god.
No!
They were siblings.
Even the devil's like, fuck that.
Oh, Nichan, it's okay. You're adopted.
No,
he's watching anime and he's like, oh my god.
Mercy.
Oh my, I run hell. What is this?
What is this? But like, I wish to God that was the end of their shark jumping. It's not.
What the fuck was that?
Where does it end?
She finds out he's a serial killer and is cool with it. 'Cause she wants to fuck him.
Okay, no.
And he's not down.
No. If she was going to be cool with it, shouldn't it be because they were raised by the same people and she sees what morals he's taking and maybe she has issues, but she can work with it? Not, oh, fine, I want to bang you, so I'll cover for
That's exactly it. And she tries to recondition him so he's not a fucking serial killer. Yes. Thank you, Silas. They did. I really liked Dexter. What the fuck did you do to my fucking show?
Okay, so which season does this start in, just so I know to stop in the season before?
The last one.
Oh my
god. The last one.
Guys,
okay, so I will just not watch that one.
Guys, I hate to...
But you need to move on to other things.
Well, no, okay, this was supposed to be a short episode, we're an hour in! That means we're having fun. It means we're having fun.
For another time, maybe.
Oh, okay. So we're just gonna. How about this? We're gonna try to go through it a little quicker. Technically, these episodes don't have a hard time limit. It's just also.
Well, maybe we do Critical Role next week, especially since I'm only at the start of it. I'll have more to talk about next time.
Yeah, I don't even watch it.
We can talk about weird sibling relationships later.
All right, how about this?
I would rather not, but okay.
So how about this?
As a person who is a twin, no
thank you.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I'm
you
so
got it the
sorry.
Worst.
Yeah, you got
it the worst.
You're
as a twin.
I immediately went to Oron.
I'm so sorry.
I immediately went to Oron High School. I'm so sorry.
No, thank you.
All right, let's. All right, so how about this? Next week, I don't watch Critical Role, so I think what we'll talk about next week is making a D&D show. How about that?
And Thank you!
Good. Yeah,
I love Critical Role.
Ones, so, yeah.
Yeah,
and then we will leave the incest behind.
Yeah, we will. We'll tie that up in a bag and drop it in the river.
You know,
pot pies to this.
Well,
I want to go back to the pot pies.
Please, the pot pies were a better time.
Ren, I want to officially welcome you to the Save Point City team. You have officially encountered probably one of the weirdest conversation and episodes we'll ever run in this production for all time. So we're gonna go just run through these next ones real quick.
Don't jinx it for us, Mitch.
The first thing I want to talk about is actually something that Amanda brought up, which was, hey, Jason Momoa, he's might not be doing Aquaman 2, and Amanda will tell you the rest.
Because he's doing some pretty cool other shit.
Yeah.
Being a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, Amanda, what's Mr. Momoa up to?
Jason Momoa is currently protecting sacred Holy Land in Hawaii from being bulldozed for a telescope.
Yeah, because there's already like 13 freaking telescopes on the same goddamn mountain.
Yeah, and he's doing his protest, and he essentially said, sorry Warner Bros, fucking we can't shoot Aquaman 2. Fucking he's like, I'm just gonna get ran over by a bulldozer to stop the fucking...
If you want me in Aquaman 2, you gotta do something about all this bullshit.
Yeah, because they're desecrating fucking Holy Land in fucking Hawaii. And he's like, I'd rather get ran over. He's like, this is 4 times more important than fucking Aquaman. Sorry.
And fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. Fuck yeah, Momoa. Fuck yeah, Momoa. Jesus.
Yeah, I can't emphasize enough how fucking cool Jason Momoa is. That guy that's fucking that's the thing. I will say this. One of the nicest things about Jason Momoa, I know that I suck his dick enough as it is on the show, but I will besides the fact that he's representing, which is great. I will say the thing that I love the most about him is the fact that he is like a rock star in the movies and out of it. There's a lot of movie stars who will take up a really important fucking mantle, like, I don't know, Superman, and fucking throw it away to play The Witcher.
Cavill.
And refuse to shave his fucking mustache for fucking...
I'm honestly considering just not watching the new Witcher series. Zero faith in Cavill doing a good job with Geralt. Also he's a dick and I don't want to support anything he's in.
I don't know. The whole point is just like, it's so cool to see someone who has that money and not even the money this time. He's just protesting and he's doing everything he can to get that shit out there. And I'm really just happy that
people who will actually walk the walk.
His movie does $1 billion and he doesn't let it get to his head. He uses the money to funnel things he was already passionate about. That's the thing. He started his own water company where the water comes in like aluminum cans, which can be super recycled or something like that. And he just does like a lot of cool shit. And it's just...
So that's the thing, is that his movie grossed almost the exact amount that the telescope costs.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Scheiße.
Yeah. It is a 30-meter telescope, but his whole fucking thing is just like, no, I don't fucking think so. I don't give a fucking shit. God, it's just so shitty, because he's quoted saying it's humanity, it's culture, it's people, Polynesian people who are willing to die here to protect this land. This is very sacred.
And then you have fucking Katniss Evergreen fucking scratched her butt on a fucking Hawaiian idol.
And didn't she nearly kill somebody knocking one over?
Yeah, she knocked it over with her fucking ridiculous ass.
I'm sorry, that was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson I was quoting. Fucking... Sorry, they didn't make it, super, super clear who was talking.
Well, okay, but that's the thing. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, fucking Jason Momoa, these guys are Polynesian and proud, and I'm happy that these are these are the people who represent us. Also, fat comedic stereotypes, but also, if it's between those two, I'm happy. I'm genuinely happy that that's who we have, because these people are also not very problematic. They're not horrible monster people.
No, they're great. Fucking.
And it's just nice. I still am awaiting the day that the Scorpion King will fight Aquaman. That'll in my heart of hearts. But that being said, Momoa is awesome, and we're gonna talk one quick last thing. So as you guys know, we are currently playing Fire Emblem Three Houses. This game is so fucking good. I said it last week. I'm saying it again this week. This game is so fucking good. We recorded a bunch of fun episodes, which will come out Monday through Friday. But I need to know. You need to tell me. Because I'm bad at this. I'm bad at running a Let's Play channel. You guys need to tell me if this isn't, if you guys need a break, because I this is the third week, 15 episodes. I'm very excited for it. But like, if you guys need a break from this show, we'll do a week where we just go back to Breath of the Wild and Kingdom Hearts and stuff. And if that's what you guys need,
I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I'm not trying to speak for everybody who watches the videos, but I just kind of enjoy whatever the heck you guys publish when you guys publish it, because it's fun.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, here, let me give you your $25 that I paid you to say that.
yes, thank you. I also slip Ren $25. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'm like, all right, I'm out. Throws pot pie into the wall.
Yeah. Spends the $50 on Popeyes. No,
to throw at our wall.
Yeah.
$50, I'll take it.
Oh my god. So anyways, guys, I just want to say real quick, Fire Emblem is going so fucking good. It's such a good game. I cannot wait to stop playing it for the show. And when I say that, I mean I finish it for the show so that I can
then go back and do all the different routes to see what happens.
So curious. I need to know about, because I need to know how much the game changes. I need to. Mm-hmm. And like,
from what I've seen on the wikis, I think substantially.
I want to know. So I cannot wait. We're only gonna do the Claude playthrough, but that one's so much fun. And I'm sure that you guys have noticed that, like, we're like, yeah, Claude's really cool, but I really like him with Marianne, and that's gonna be kind of a fun ongoing thing. And we're gonna try to do some more stuff with that. This week you get more Danganronpa. Hey, guess what, guys? We actually
okay. So that's a thing. We're past the first trial now.
Oh my god! Yeah, we are officially, like, starting next recording session. We are officially past the point where we have. Wait, hang on, Amanda. Before I end this episode, did we record enough Danganronpa to cover this week?
I don't know. That's a Nate question. That's a Nate question. Because I know the trial is kind of long, but that's the thing, is that I think we're just doing it as either one or two huge chunks, right?
Now, I think Richard Sward. We need to talk to Richard Sward.
Oh my god!
It's been a few days, but Richard Sward, he's my favorite thing that happened in the entire fucking place. If Nate cuts that out, I'm going to cut him.
I know. Okay, so. In the chat, it says I'm a bit behind on Danganronpa, so honestly, this is a good chance to catch up. Plus, everything you guys enjoy playing / filming, we enjoy watching, at least in my case. Another is, to be honest, I wouldn't mind a week of Breath of the Wild. Another one is I'm playing Three Houses right now, so I'm waiting till after that before I watch your playthrough.
Okay, that's fair. That's very fair.
That's fair.
So, so what I will say is this: I'll come back next week and we'll figure it out, because I don't want to have. I like having Breath of the Wild and Kingdom Hearts kind of on the back, because we are like this Thursday. It's either this Thursday or next Thursday. We're finishing Kingdom Hearts 3, and I'm so excited.
Nice.
Me too.
Because we ended up missing last week's recording session because just technicalities popped up. We couldn't get everyone in the same room. We're never in the same room, but you know what I mean, in the same call. And
couldn't
stuff
get
like
everybody on the same line
and,
at the same time.
And it was one of those situations in which, like, we were like, oh damn it, like, we were trying to, trying
to be done.
Yeah. So we will try our best to kind of see what we can get done this week. I want to keep Fire Emblem as solid as we possibly can get through. Just because, one, I'm having such a great time playing it. I think one of the comments, one of the videos was just like, we can just tell that you're excited, and like that you can, because like I'm like, oh,
and that's kind of like the best part of a Let's Play, is seeing people enjoy it and being able to enjoy it as well.
So one of the things I'm really curious about is in old Fire Emblem games. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But in old.
I finished my sentence.
Oh, okay. In old Fire Emblem games, I can't remember if it's like if you make someone a Pegasus rider, if they're stuck to a specific set of weapons, because I can't remember. And one of the things that I'm like, oh, I kind of want to make, is it Marianne or Marianne?
It's Marianne.
She really likes animals. I'm like, we could just make her like a horse rider or something, and then like have her cast spells on top of a fucking horse, and just that could be the thing.
That sounds cool.
I'm hoping that's how it turns out. I don't tell me. Do not tell me in the chat. I want to find out when we play. So like I'm very excited and I'm very happy that like Fire Emblem's going well, view-wise and the playthrough. Like it's very rare that we have a show where it's going well on both ends. So anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Mitch's Minute. This episode was super last minute. It was super late, but I'm so happy that we did it. I'm in a really good mood. After coming back.
This has been fun.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed this.
This is one of my best episodes, I think. I think this is one of the best things, because I literally got home, came straight to the computer. I have not unpacked or anything. I just wanted to get the episode out.
Fuck yeah.
Because I've been gone for like a few days now, and like I cannot wait to get back to work. That being said, not looking forward to the late night ahead of me and waking up going to work. I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a fun week, and then it's the work part isn't gonna be.
I wish you luck finding some time and some place to sleep.
Oh, I will. So thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Mitch's Minute. It's really
also, do
not be afraid to comment in the comment section, because we read it off. And,
awesome.
Yeah, what was it, last week's episode? I think we did the whole episode and no one commented like a single time. And I think it's what it is. It's everyone's against the wall and no one wants to be the first one to slow dance.
Yep.
And it's like, it's
you know who's always ready to slow dance? Lewd Mercy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lewd Mercy's that first one, and he's great.
Lewd Mercy is it's that moment where it's like, it's that moment in Harry Potter where like all the guys line up and all the girls line up, and then Lewd Mercy just comes in, is like, yo, fuck it, and starts whipping nay all around, and that's it. That's how we're ending the episode today. Like, comment, and subscribe, everyone. Like, comment, and subscribe.
See y'all next time.
See y'all next time, guys. Next week, we'll talk more about D&D shows. So
fuck yeah, crit roll. Fuck yeah.
I do not watch them, so I will have to find something to talk about next week.
You got this, man. We got this.
All right, later, guys.
Later.
See ya.